Hello there and welcome back to another video, and we're going to be previewing Liverpool versus Real Madrid, and we are currently 3-1 down with a crucial away goal, it has to be said, but it is a mountain to climb for Liverpool to get themselves back into this tie and to even have the possibility of winning the tie and going into the next round of the Champions League as well. It's going to be a huge ask. Can Liverpool go on and do what sometimes we've been able to do throughout our history at Anfield, being able to pull off incredible comebacks, and also just in European football as well? Can we come and pull off one of these epic comebacks, or is it going to be a little bit too much for us to do and a little bit too little too late as well? Is that what it's going to be like for Liverpool? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, and I will make my mind up throughout this video as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How do you think things are going to go down tomorrow? Do you think we can win it? I think we all believe that we can win it, but if we're a little bit realistic, do you think we will? Do you think we will? Can we stop Real Madrid scoring? Can we score at least 2 goals when it looked very unlikely we were going to do that in the first leg? And also, changes in personnel. Is there anybody that you'd be taking out, or system changes for this game? Is there anyone you'd be leaving out, anyone you'd be bringing in from the bench, bringing them in from the cold, if you will? Let me know it in the comments below. Now, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go through the press conference that both Jurgen Klopp and Andy Robertson did as well. Then we'll go and look at briefly the previous match that we played against them last week, and we'll go and look at the formation and the players that I picked that I think we should be going with for this game tomorrow. So let's start off with Twitter, and we're going to be looking at Paul Gorst, because his Twitter thread is actually much more comprehensive in my opinion. It's got more about it. It's got much more detail than the thisisanfield.com one has, and I wanted a lot more detail. That's exactly what I wanted, and that's why I'm looking at this one as well, and I hope that you appreciate it as well. He's a very good source for anything Liverpool. Really, really good. So we'll start here. This is the first tweet, because obviously we just get to look at Jurgen Klopp here in his pearly whites, looking very decent as he does there. So, Klopp, when you're 3-1 down, it looks like you don't have a lot to lose, so we will go for it. The results showed they were better than us, but it is only the first half. Klopp on Trent, it's a special situation, and he reacted really well. But it's not like he was in a dark place and had to get out of that. He was just not selected for England, that's all. That's the mentality I've got towards Trent as well. In that, a lot of people seem to read far too much into it. I think someone said a couple of days ago, I can't remember who it was, it might even have been Gary Neville, but someone said if you're not selected for international duty, all of a sudden you're a terrible player, you're a crap player, this, that and the other, and that's just not the case whatsoever. He's still world class, he's still brilliant, still a young player as well. Imagine how good he's going to be in 4, 5, 6 years. Unbelievable. Klopp, we played a few years ago with Dortmund. We lost 3-0. Journalists asked me if it was gone, and I said probably, but what could we do? In the second leg, we're 2-0 up, which much more important is the performance. We have to try to win the game, and just that, then we will see. It's really important to defend it on your highest level with the ability I assume that means with the ability that Madrid have. It's about winning games, and if that's enough, we will see. We just have to get in the mood where we believe it's possible again. He was impressed with Vinicius as well. What a talent, and he's what a player he is. Really, really good talent. Struggled when he first went to Real Madrid, but it's Real Madrid. I think when he went there, it was the same year that I think it was Ronaldo's last year. So it was going to be a difficult time. He had like Bale to compete with and stuff like that as well. Everyone knew it. One goal we could have defended the other was a great first touch and finish. We tried to avoid passes to him. Kroos is one of the biggest talents in Germany for a long time. A great player since early on. Signed for Bayern, played incredible stuff, and then made a brave move to Real Madrid and become one of the most successful footballers in the world. Plus, he's not really old. He's got a lot more to come. And he's not really old, actually, Toni Kroos. He's still class. Scored at the weekend in El Clasico as well. Played a really good game by all accounts, and they made a statement of intent really by about the 70th minute, I think, against Barcelona, their heated rivals alongside Atletico Madrid, and they made a statement pretty much by substituting, I think, Benzema, Kroos and someone else off around the 70th minute, knowing that they were going to be coming into the game against Liverpool as well. It shifts over to Robertson. We're still in the competition. Maybe not many give us hope, but we believe we can go out in a better performance that gives us a fighting chance. We need to be better. We need to put pressure on an experienced team and see how they handle it. The Barca game, it's no secret, it wouldn't be possible without the fans. They made us feel 10 feet tall, walking out to 54,000 people who believes it gives us the extra 5%. We need to create the atmosphere before we go on the pitch. We need to have no regrets. If we get there, amazing. If we don't, at least we can hold our heads high. We know how good this competition is, and we want to be in it for as long as possible. I'd love to say the reaction was for Trent, but I couldn't care less. Who scores it versus Villa? It's that part of the season where drop points hurt that bit more. A huge goal for me. It's a sign of a world-class player. I know it's hard for Trent, but he should take it as a compliment that so much noise is made. For me, someone who is close to him is about helping his confidence stay high because no one can touch him like that. He's a strong character. It's just about trying not to let criticism affect him because when he does that, I don't think anyone can touch Trent. Our run at home has not been good enough since Boxing Day. So true. Points they dropped, the defeats, not good enough. First win of the new year always makes a difference. We'll have good feelings tomorrow when we walk on the pitch, full of confidence, nothing to lose. We need to give a better performance than we did and give ourselves the best chance to go through. It's important we go into it as a normal game. Play our own game, put them under pressure and try and win the game. Always the same. At LFC, the pressure is to win every game. If we do that, let's see where we're at in the latter stages of the game. When the chances fall, we need to try and take them. We know we're up against a European giant with their own game plan. They're disappointed in last week. There's a lot of stuff here, mainly talking about the fans, the impact of the fans as well. It's the Champions League quarters. I'd love 54,000 fans, but it's not possible. The lads are motivated and determined to progress. Real Madrid have been there and done it before and are determined as well, though. Anything more of, instead of, I don't think there's much more in terms of detail or anything like that. And I think most of it is basically just, well, this headline here: Klopp takes Liverpool from doubters to believers to Premier League. Whatever that actual headline actually is, can't read it. But basically, a lot of it is we need to go from doubting to believing again. I believe that Liverpool can get it done. It's just going to be really, really difficult. Regardless of the amount of players that Real Madrid are going to be missing, they were missing players last week as well, and they still made it really, really difficult for us. In fact, what we're going to go ahead and do right now is we're going to jump over to SofaScore and have a look at last week's lineup. And a lot of people were really pleased because Sergio Ramos was confirmed to be out already, and then Rafael Varane got COVID-19 and wasn't going to be available for that game. Everybody lit up and thought we were going to have an absolute free-for-all. In the end, we got overrun, and their defence, really, apart from Salah's goal, didn't really get tested a great deal, didn't get tested enough. Yes, it says that we had more possession, but they had way more chances, more shots on target. We had 7 shots, only 1 on target. It's things like this that always lets Liverpool down, is the fact, in some games anyway. If we go out there and we pepper a goal and shots are on target, alright, we'll maybe have, like, say, 10 shots, 6 of them on target. We might only score 1 or 2 goals. But that's what we need to do. We are more about an artillery bombardment on their goal, and it's almost a case of throw everything at it, and whatever sticks, that is what is going to be a goal. Sometimes it's not going to be, 3 or 4 goals. It's just going to be 1 or 2 goals. But scoring 1 or 2 goals, 2 goals especially, could be the difference here as well. There have been some calls, and it's not on here, thank God for that. There have been some calls. This isn't my predicted lineup anyway. My predicted lineup is a little bit different, as it always is. There will be some differences. Odriozola is most likely going to be the right back for Real Madrid, unless they go and do something completely different and they play like a 3 at the back, maybe 5 in midfield, or whatever it might be, or 3-4-3, something similar to that. I'm not entirely sure, but they will be missing Vasquez, who is another one that is missing. Varane, Ramos, Vasquez and Carvajal. So yeah, and Jordan Henderson is back on the out list. He wasn't last week, which gave some people a little bit of a lift of, like, Henderson's coming back, but not yet. Curtis Jones is apparently a doubt, which is concerning, but I'm playing as if he wasn't going to be available for this one. anyway. So what I was getting at before though is that there's a couple of calls. I don't want to say a lot. There's a couple of calls to put Fabinho back in defence, and I think as you hear me say that, I would hope that you would say we can't do that because we got overran in midfield last time out in the previous game last week. To take Fabinho out of midfield and put him in defence, he does good in defence. Not criticising him in defence whatsoever because he is very good in defence. But in midfield, he is brilliant. Now against Real Madrid, no one was brilliant last week. Let's just be honest, they weren't. But we stand more of a chance of if the system is right and set up right, or the system that is good against Real Madrid, we stand much better of a chance of winning the game or getting a positive result if Fabinho is in midfield. I think that's something that we can all agree on. I'm not trying to put words or thoughts into your mouths, but I think that is definitely something that we can agree on. So what I want to look at here is I want to go to my lineup, and there's two variances. Okay, so this one right here is pretty much your standard me putting a 4-2-3-1 at you. I'm very, very passionate about the 4-2-3-1. I think it can do really good things for us. I really, really do. I'm totally convinced that it can, and I want to see it put in. I want to see it put into action. I really, really do. Like, I don't know if it's just me or whether it's anybody else, or I don't know. It's just this is what I want to see. The 4-2-3-1. I think having Fabinho and Thiago in the midfield could make a big difference for us. It really, really could. The only other difference that I would see in here in the midfield is you'd have to take Thiago out, and then you bring in James Milner. Milner, I think, still has so much to offer. Offers quite a bit more than some of our midfielders as well in terms of what we need right now. If we were going for pure creativity, you'd get someone like a Naby Keita in there. But that isn't what we are generally needing. We are needing hard workers in this midfield. Thiago is a hard worker. Milner's probably the hardest working midfielder we've got available right now. Otherwise, it would be Henderson. It's a toss-up between the two of them. But Milner, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Milner in this midfield whatsoever. And that is probably, if they do that, they would go into a 4-3-3, maybe drop into a 4-2-3-1 later on, or change the system later on in the game. I'm not entirely sure. But this is what I would go with. Now, the only difference that I would see, and hopefully it's the right way, is that some people might think it's harsh. I think it's just being realistic. Sadio Mane is not at the levels that he has been over the last couple of years, and it happens to players. Maintaining those in the system and the way that we play, maintaining that level of work rate, and effectiveness of doing it all the time, it takes its toll on players. And maybe this is a little bit of Mane just not maybe having a little bit of burnout in some ways, and he just cannot replicate that quality that we know that Sadio Mane has. He has buckets of quality, but when he got substituted on against Aston Villa in the 75th minute or something around that sort of area, it actually, and definitely not slagging Sadio Mane off, I really am not, but our quality level, even though I think it was 1-1 at that point, the quality level of our attacks actually went down ever so slightly, if not quite a little bit, and it was the introduction of Mane that did it. It wasn't until Shaqiri came on, very, very late on in the 89th minute, he was looking for those passes into the box. He was looking, and it was his pass into the box that set up Trent's goal eventually. Pass into the box, Thiago boots it at the goalkeeper very, very quickly, gets parried out, Trent's on the edge of the box, you know what happens next, world-class goal. But it started from the incisive movement and passing ability of Shaqiri. Shaqiri isn't going to score you loads and loads of goals, but what he does have over anybody else, over Jota, over Salah, and over Mane, is passing ability. And that is something that we could probably desperately need in this game. So for me, the one change I make, if it was going to be made, is to get Shaqiri involved from the start and have someone there like him that can do these passes out wide. We've seen him do it in the past. I think it was against West Ham, and we were on the break, and he's on the left wing. Ball goes out to it, gets played out to him by Trent, I think it was, and Shaqiri's on the left hand side, running for the ball, hits it first time, beautiful cross. Salah controlled it and just put it past the keeper, and we went on to win that game as well. Shaqiri, I am a big fan of. I am a fan of. And if we're going to have either one of them, at the moment, I'd probably just like to give Shaqiri a go. A lot of people will say, on paper, it's Real Madrid. We've got to go with our best players. But at the moment, at this moment in time, if we're looking at form, if we're looking at contributions in terms of, the games recently and even over the last couple of months, I wouldn't say that Mane is the best option. Just as a start, that's just my opinion. People might not like it, but I'm not hating on the player. I love Sadio Mane, he's a fantastic player, but right now, he's not delivering what we know he can deliver. That's just my opinion. Do we run the risk of, if we lose the game and he's not involved in it, like from the start, do we run the risk of pissing off Sadio Mane? I don't know. But at the moment, we've got to go with the best options that we've got for winning a game of football in the Champions League. And this could be it right here. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, we're going to jump back over to SofaScore. As I said, Real Madrid are going to be missing one more player than they were last week, which was Lucas Vazquez, or Vazquez, however you say it. But they're still going to have all the danger players that they had last week. Modric, Toni Kroos, Vinicius, Karim Benzema, Asensio, Casemiro, who was an absolute dominator in midfield last week. It's a big, big task in front of Liverpool. We have to score 2 goals no matter what, but we also have to keep out Real Madrid. We have to keep them, because all it takes, and we had this against Barcelona, how they didn't score against us like that time, I have no idea. All Barcelona had to do at Anfield was score 1 goal. That is all they had to do. We scored 4. It still only took them to score 1 goal, and the tie would have been over for us. And they didn't do it. For some reason, they didn't do it. Biggest reason possibly could have been the fact that we had so many fans in the stadium, and it was so loud as well. And that is probably something that Liverpool, the players and the team and everything, are missing, is the fact that this is such a huge tie in the Champions League, and we're all just watching it on TV. That's all we can do. I hope that this Liverpool team can pull it off. I think that we can win this game, but I don't think that we'll win the tie. I'm going to be bold and say that Liverpool win this game 3-1, but that would still put us out of the Champions League. I'm not entirely confident that we can keep a clean sheet, and I think that's realistic. They are a quality team, Real Madrid, and as good as our guys have been in defence as well, this is a little bit of a different level for them as well, and I'm not criticising them whatsoever. I love these guys. Kabak, Nat Phillips, any of them, I absolutely love them. But I just think I think at this moment in time, I think it's just a step too far for us. I think it's positive if we go out there and win the game. It will suck a little bit that we might not go through to the next stage, even if we win the game. But that's just how I'm feeling right now. I think that Liverpool can go out there and win 3-1, but that would put us out of the Champions League at this stage anyway. So let me know what you think in the comments below anyway. Let me know what your thoughts are. Team lineups, selections, who would you put where, and who would you maybe drop out of the team as well. Let me know it in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again. Do take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you later.